Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie, and I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad you're alive. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you guys are drinking. I'm almost done with my Coke Zero, but let me know, or what you're eating or something, or what you're doing during this episode. The theme of this episode is terrible roommates. I know that you guys liked the last episode that I posted, so I thought, why not do it again? Why not give the people what they want? So let's get started on the first story. The title of the first story is Am I the Asshole for Asking My Roommate's Wife to Wear Bottoms Around the House? My significant other and I have been putting up our brother in law while he's trying to move back. He's employed and is paying token room and board while him and his wife attempt to sell their house. It's been 6 months so far. My brother in law's spouse, Tina, is late 30s, a larger girl, and has some health issues. She's visited before and ruined decorative pillows due to having accidents on them, as she likes to sit on our black decorative cushions. She's now been spending half of every month, and shouldn't be, in my home as a guest. She doesn't wear underwear under her nightgown and will stay in her nightgown the majority of the day. I've had it. I've watched her ruin another decorative pillow by sitting on it and leaving discharge and urine on it. I gave her a day to clean it, and she pretended that it didn't happen. I ended up throwing out the pillow in disgust and bleaching the seating mat underneath of it. She then wore the same pea-stained nightgown the next day, and I watched her as she lifted it up to sit down bare butt on my furniture. So we've spoken to her husband in hopes that he can tell her to wear underpants nicely. I'm also considering getting her a box of incontinence pads and leaving it in the bathroom she uses. Am I the asshole in this? It's disgusting, right? Editing for answers. 1. Yep, it's real. I'm AUDHD and don't react appropriately. I didn't know if I was overreacting or underreacting. These words help. Thank you all. 2. It's my significant other's brother. And up until he moved in, we, his wife and I, hadn't spent more than a couple hours together, a day at most. 3. I have a chronic illness myself, so have tried to be tolerant and understanding and forgiving. Incontinence is a shameful topic. 4. Size plays into severity of incontinence issues. 5. I do have a pic of the last cushion that she sat on. 6. My home's theme is earthy colors, blacks, browns, reds, and whites. Yes, I have black cushions, decorative pillows. 7. The roommate is employed locally. Their house is several hours' drive away. He's supposed to be going home on weekends, but due to the mountain passes, winter weather, and illness, hasn't been home in over a month. 8. It's not the first conflict the wife and I have had. Update. The next morning, my brother-in-law spoke to his wife. She now has incontinence pads and is wearing pants in the common areas and will be leaving today. Thanks everyone for all the responses. I thought I was being crazy for being upset about this. She hasn't left yet, but soon I'll breathe a sigh of relief. Oh my god, thank God. That's insane. I can understand, like, whatever. Do that in your own house. Sit on your own furniture with no underwear on. Leave your discharge on your own pillows. But, like, to be a guest in someone else's home and just put your vag and your coochie, like, all over everyone's stuff. And not only that, but you know that you have accidents. Like, obviously, I don't know what this illness is that she has, and I do feel bad and I feel for her. But it's like you also have to have self-awareness to know that you can't just you can't have problems like peeing and getting discharge everywhere and not do anything about it. Like, you got to do something about it. At that point, I'd be wearing a diaper and trying not to get stuff everywhere because, for the love of God, like, I'd be so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. Like, I wouldn't. Are you kidding me? That's just crazy. That's crazy work. I would be throwing up, probably, most likely. Okay, some of the comments. That's nasty. You're more tolerant than I would be. Your house, your rules. I wouldn't give her a ton of chances to comply. Next person, I wouldn't give anyone a chance to actively do such a thing. I mean, accidents can happen for medical reasons, and for young children, it will happen. There's no excuse for an adult to behave like this while being a guest. Sure, there might be mental issues, but that's nothing OP should have to deal with, not the asshole. And then someone responded and said, ditto. I'd add that future incidents will result in revoking of the invitation. There's no excuse for that. None. It's disgusting and disrespectful, period. No pun intended. Not only that, but it's unhygienic. Like, it's dangerous because we don't know what you might have, something that you can, like, spread to someone, and I don't want that. Like, not to be mean or anything, but how do we know you don't have STDs or STIs? Like, we don't. And I don't really, also, I feel like that could just make you sick in general. Like being around someone's bodily fluids and like maybe sitting on them or getting them, I don't know, ingesting them. I don't know, that scares me and is honestly so disgusting. And like, I understand the, I understand having issues, whether it's mental issues or just health issues in general. I understand that, okay? But like this person said, like it's not OP's problem to deal with that. It's the husband and that it's the husband of that girl. Like he shouldn't be having to worry about if his decorative pillows are getting shit on, you know? Like sorry. I get that maybe I get that it's a problem and there's something with health and I do feel bad. Let me reiterate that again because I don't want to like attack anyone or be like come off as, like I'm making fun of like a condition, but it's a little bit extreme to be doing that. And if you don't have self awareness, like I said earlier, like having the self awareness to not do that, if you don't actually have self awareness and that's like part of the mental health issues that you have, that okay. But like the brother in law should be doing something about it. The brother in law needs to be doing something about it, making sure that this isn't happening again because ridiculous. But I would like more detail because then I could go a little bit more, I could be a little bit more aggressive about it, but I don't know what she struggles with. And so I can understand why he would want to be like kind about it. Whereas if she was just like, she didn't have any issues and this was happening, that would be a different story. I would be like, kick him to the curb immediately. Goodbye, you know? But still, at the same time, that's not okay. Nothing about that is okay or right in any sense of the word. All right, the next story is my roommate thinks I should give up the living room whenever her boyfriend is over. Okay, so I, 18 female, live with my roommate, 19 female, and we usually get along fine. But lately, her boyfriend, 23 male, has been over all the time. Like, he's basically just living here now, except he doesn't pay rent. So last night, I get home from work, grab some food, and plop down on the couch to eat and watch Netflix. 5 minutes later, my roommate and her boyfriend walk in, and I can tell he's already annoyed. He looks at me and goes, I thought we were going to have some alone time. She sighs and says, Hey, do you mind giving us the living room for a bit? And I just said, I live here. Like, this is my apartment too. And she kind of just rolled her eyes at me and said, You could just chill in your room for a bit. Like, excuse me? I pay rent here too. Why should I go hide in my room just because he wants to sit on my couch? I didn't move, and they ended up going into her room, but later she texted me saying I was being inconsiderate and that I should have respected their space. Am I being crazy? How is it their space? We share this apartment, and if anything, he's the guest, not me. Dude, absolutely not. I'd be sitting in that living room just to be petty every single day that he comes over. And you, if you want alone time, go in your room and have some alone time together. That is not my problem. Not my monkeys. I don't know what that is actually. I didn't say that right. Not my circus, not my monkeys. Okay, sorry, but that's no issue of mine. I'm sitting here enjoying my meal watching Netflix. You guys can either join in and you can sit there and watch what I'm watching and chill with me if you want, but to ask me to move so that you and your boyfriend can spend alone time in the shared living space in the common area, absolutely not. Nor, thank you. Goodbye, literally. See you never. Actually, see you every time you want to hang out in the living room with your boyfriend. I know that's petty, but like, sorry, it's petty to ask me to go to my room when you guys could just go to your room. I would have said that. If she said that to me, I would have been like, oh, wait, but you guys could also go into your room and spend alone time together. Because why are you going to inconvenience me who pays rent here when your boyfriend doesn't pay a lick of rent? So why would I be inconveniencing myself for this man's who does nothing for me, has nothing to do with me, doesn't contribute in any way. If anything, he overstays his welcome. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nor thank you. Roommates can be so annoying. And like it is annoying because when you do get along with roommates, it's like you want to say things less and less and you don't want to be like mean or cause conflict. I know that some people aren't like that, but for me it's like if I'm not close to my roommates, And that's kind of why in the beginning of having roommates, like the first 2 years, I vowed to myself, like, I'm not going to be close with my roommates because I want to be able to say stuff. And if I'm close with them, I won't feel comfortable saying stuff. Does that make sense? Because I never want to start a problem with like my friends. But then that got me into another mess where it's like we all kind of hated each other and passive aggressively would like text each other, like, being annoyed at each other for doing certain things. And obviously it can be hard because like for me it's I think I live great. It's like this is the way that I live and I think it's fine. And obviously like I would be more clean when I lived with roommates. I would pick up more than I usually would if I were living by myself. But obviously you have to think about, and I was young, so like I did realize this, but at the same time sometimes I would be like, okay, that's a little bit much. But then there'd be things that I would want my roommates to kind of like shape and like form to my living style. We all kind of wanted each other to form to our living styles. And there would be like certain things that just seemed so little to me that I'm sure I did as well, that I would say to them that seemed so little to them. But like to me, it meant something. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like turning off lights and stuff, like that was something that I would get annoyed about. And I'd be like, guys, please. Or like turning the air super low down, like 67 or 68, because we all have to pay that bill. And also, our apartment was huge, so it cost so much for the electric bill, and it got so annoying because we were all college students, most of us actually. There was one, I think, that was like full time working, but we all were in the same kind of boat, other than that one girl. And so we all needed to be more conscious about money and also like just being someone that I have to pay for my rent and I've always had to pay for everything myself. Whereas like one of my roommates was more, she had more generous parents and her like grandma would help her out and stuff. So you don't really see the value of a dollar when you have that kind of upbringing. And when which I am not shaming anyone. God, I would love if my parents were like rich enough to help me or had enough money to help me with that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, that just wasn't the case. And I'm grateful for what they could help me with. And like they helped me with college a little bit. So I'm grateful for that. But obviously I'm not shaming anyone for that, but I'm just saying like you don't really see the value of a dollar, so you're a little bit more lenient with things and you don't really think about stuff the way that someone who really has to work and also is like going to school. So I couldn't have like a full-time job. I had to have a part-time job, so it wasn't making a lot of money. I think I was just a nanny at the time or something. And like yes, of course, could I have gotten like a serving job and made a lot more money? Sure. But that just wasn't my lifestyle at the time. And I also had a lot because I was a teaching major, so I was an education major, and it's not hard major, but it's time consuming AF. Like we had to take extra credits. We had to take 19 credits instead of, I don't remember what the regular limit was. Was it like 15 or something? I don't know. We had to take way, way, way extra credits every semester than everyone else because we had, it was like a accelerated kind of major because your senior year is when, and also a little bit of your junior year is when you're having to go out on the field and do school student teaching and things like that. So yeah, it was like a lot because we had so many classes, and then we would have like assignments in those classes, and then we would have to also do field work and go like volunteer and all this other stuff. And then we also had to go to chapel because it was a Christian college. We had a certain amount of chapel hours we had to do and stuff. So it was just a lot. And like I didn't want to put my mental health through that. So I made the bare minimum to pay for what I could pay for and what I needed to pay for at the time. And that's just how it had to work. But yeah. Okay, someone said, F that shit. Not the asshole. If she wants exclusive access to common areas, she can pay more rent. Right? Her is telling OP passive aggressively to go to your room when he doesn't pay rent. Nope. I tell him he doesn't get a say until his name is on the lease. Also, I'd watch the director's cut of Lord of the Rings trilogy next time he's coming over, but I'm kind of petty. Same. I would also do that. Sorry, excuse me, but I would do that as well. Because goodbye, like you're not going to tell me what to do in my own house. If one of my roommates' boyfriends did that. There was this because one of our roommates was all she secretly moved her boyfriend in, and we like had to have a roommate meeting so that he could start paying rent because we're like, okay, no. And I've told you guys this before, but she was like, it doesn't make a difference. Like, we shower together, we cook together, and everything. So it's not like he's using more electricity or anything like that. It's like, that's not the point. You know what I mean? Like, he's living here for free while we all have to pay. So, like, Okay. What? It doesn't make sense. Let me cook at the same time as you guys then and like shower at the same time as you guys because that means I'm not using more stuff. So like I should live there for free. Like, no, that's not how it works. So we were all collectively annoyed. It was me and two other roommates, and then this roommate was our fourth roommate. And we were just like, girl, that is not how it works. That is not how roommates work. You can't just move your boyfriend in and then expect him not to have to pay for anything. He has to at least pay something. And we didn't even make him pay full rent. Like, I think he paid $300 and everyone else paid 600, 500. So what is that? Like, hello? She's like, oh, he doesn't have a job right now. Like, he can't afford it. I'm like, that is not my problem. And I'm so sorry. And I do feel for you, but that is just genuinely not my problem. And if we're going to have another person living here, also not on the lease. So, like, technically, is that even allowed? Can they stay here? We don't know. Our landlord doesn't know if they can stay there or doesn't know that they're there. Like, I don't want to get in trouble for that. And you know what I mean? It's just that's not it doesn't even matter. It's just it's more of the I can't even remember what kind of word that I'm trying to use, but I feel like you get it. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But just roommates can be crazy. And I've had so much drama with roommates, I can't even. And then that's why like I started being friends with my roommates and things got so much better because we didn't feel like resentful against each other. We were all friends, so we loved each other and we like would if something were kind of annoying, we'd be like, "Hey," we'd be nice about it. But previously when I wasn't friends with my roommates, and I thought this would help, they would be super passive aggressive to me and like rude, and I would be passive aggressive to them as well because we didn't know each other, so we didn't really feel like I don't know, you know what I mean? I don't know, but it was mutual. Like sometimes they would say stuff that would piss me off because they were so passive aggressive about it, and I'm like, and then I'd be passive aggressive back. So then it started like a war almost, and then it's like you have to live with those people for a year. Maybe even 2 years, like depending on if they're gonna live there the next year and if you're gonna live there the next year. And all that. So I had a lot of roommates, but I did have like some of them stayed and then like one would move out and you know what I mean? Because there was four of us, so like one would move out and then three of us would stay, and then we'd have to get a new roommate and then all of that good stuff. But there were two of my roommates that I was like super close with that I still love and adore to this day. Like I went out with one of them a month ago, but we live far away from each other now and it's so annoying. We don't live that far, but it's like 40 minutes probably. And that's like far. It's like far to hang out. If she lived over here, I would hang out with her a lot. But then my other roommate that I was close with moved back to California. So I never get to see her anymore. But it would be fun if I did. And we were also different. Like they're not typical people that I would be friends with. And they could say the same about me as well. We were but I think that's the beauty of it, honestly. And like I've always loved those friends that you can have that you make that just aren't typical people you'd be friends with. But like say in high school you have a class with someone and you sit next to them and you become like partners on the projects and stuff and you just become friends even though typically they're not someone that you would probably become friends with. Does that make sense? Because I had a lot of friends like that like weren't they I would usually stay within my friend group and but in classes like it was fun to make friends separately from my friend group that we were mostly like class friends, almost like coworkers if you don't expand the coworker relationship and like take it outside of work and it's more of like a coworker relationship, but you just have that like special bond with them because you're experiencing stuff together. I had a lot of those friends in high school, which I really loved. Like I can honestly count so many that I had that like weren't technically a part of my friend group, but I was separately friends with them because we had so many classes together or we'd be partners on projects in the classes. And yeah, I feel like those are special and fun friendships because you just get to experience like a different type of friend that you typically wouldn't be friends with, and I feel like that's just like so fun. And I miss that about school because I like miss being able to just make friends so easily, just going to class and being like friends with someone. And then I don't know, it was just so easy and you don't realize it and you don't realize how lucky you are obviously because you don't know anything else, like that's normal for you. But I miss it so much. I really do. I wish I could be young again. And I never understood that when I was younger. I was like, why? I want to be old. I want to be 25 and have kids. But now I'm like, I want to be 15 and not have kids and be pogo sticking outside of my house for hours on end. Like, I want to be freaking hopscotching, jump roping, double dutching. I want to have fun with my neighbor friends and play night games. That was the best time of childhood ever. In elementary school, when you have like that neighborhood where all of like the kids from your school get together on the nights or on the weekends, and it's like you just play night games and stuff. Oh my god. Oh, to be young again. And I'm still young, but it's different because you're not that age. Anyways, um this weekend, me and Sam, who I also have a podcast with, if you ever want to listen to it, it's linked in the description below. It's a pop culture based podcast, but there are other videos that we've been doing for fun because I don't know, we're doing a For Dummies, like, what is it called? A For Dummies I forget what it's called, series, a For Dummies series. So where we like learn about things that we have no idea about, which we have no idea about a lot of stuff. So this week's was like pyramids and like the conspiracies with aliens and also how pyramids were built and all that stuff, which sounds boring, but like it was fun because we were just like googling and just being so like ADHD learning about it, and it was really funny. And then we also did a reaction video that's coming out on Wednesday to like cringy TikToks, and then our regular pop culture podcast is on Fridays at 8 a.m. So, yeah, if you ever want to listen to those, that would be amazing because we're kind of, well, we just started over there. So, like, I wouldn't say we're struggling yet because, we just started and you can't just expect immediate success, but it can be a little hard to like get your footing. And yeah, but we went to the beach this weekend. Actually, on Friday night, I saw Hard Eyes by myself because Jack went to Las Vegas, which is another story on its another story. But I dropped him off Friday morning because for the bachelor party, that's not a bachelor anymore because they called off the wedding. But yeah, I dropped him off at the airport on Friday morning, and then I worked that day, and then I went to the movies that night and watched Hard Eyes, which I wouldn't recommend. I thought it was gonna be good because like Scream, like I thought Scream 5 was so good with Jenna Ortega. Is that her name? Jenna Ortega, I think. It was so good. I loved that. But I think Hard Eyes was trying to give that, but it just wasn't good. And it was really, really cringy, in my opinion. Which maybe if you like cringy movies, but it wasn't scary whatsoever. And it was a little bit gory, too gory for my liking. And yeah, it was cringy. So I also had a headache. It was super late. The only showing was at 9:30 p.m. So I was like falling asleep. And also it was hot in the movies, and it was so annoying. But then on Saturday, me and Sam we met up. We got some alcohol from the alcohol store, and then we got unwich sandwiches from Jimmy John's, which is like the lettuce wrapped sandwiches, which is not as fun as a regular Jimmy John's sandwich, let me tell you. Then we went to the beach. We drank our drinks on the beach. We got some sun. We had our sandwiches. We went swimming. We were probably there for like a good 4 or 5 hours. And then we went to Rocco's Tacos and we had some margs and some happy hour apps, which was fun. And then we went home. Actually, I went to the gas station and I got snacks because you guys know I've been eating healthy. So this day I was like, whatever, cheat day. And I got some snacks and I was so unwell. I was so unwell. I wasn't even hungry, but I was eating these snacks because I was like, I haven't had this in so long. I want it so bad. I had some hot Cheetos. I had some Gushers. I had some Reese's cups. And then that later that night I ordered Domino's, which I barely ate any of because I didn't need it and I wasn't hungry at all, but I was like, "Oh my god, pizza sounds so good right now," and like I could get it delivered, and they had like a deal going on. And then the girl that came to my door was super nice and we talked for like 20 minutes about cats, and I had my door open so the kitties were coming down to like say hi, and she was really nice and she was like saying how I was like, have a good night. And she's like, oh, it's always a good night when I meet good people. And then that made me like feel so good and so happy because I was like, oh, that's so sweet of you. But yeah. And then yesterday, pretty much just laid because I was hungover. So I just laid on the couch all day. And then I picked Jack up at like 9, I think, 8ish, 9. And now we're here. And I don't even know what else happened. I'm trying to think of like anything crazy that happened this weekend or anything or any drama or tea that happened, but I don't really know anything that happened. I can't really think of anything crazy that happened. So, yeah. But that's my little updates. Let me know how your guys' life is going. Let me know what you're doing in your life. If you have any happy updates, if you have any sad updates that you need like positive energy sent, hugs, kisses sent, let me know. Comment in the comments below, okay? I love you guys and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye. Love you. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.